I know I'm very late to the party, but today I have the Casio Edifice automatic hands-on to show you guys. This, I think, is a very important watch, not because of how it feels in hand or how good looking it is or if it's well made or not. I think this is a new step in a new direction for Casio, and I'm really excited about what the possibilities are. I'm going to talk about that throughout the video. So let's flip the camera and take a look at a watch that I bought about 6 months ago and never did anything with, the new Casio, or new to me, Casio Edifice Automatic. I recently made a video where I was talking about game changer watches, and I really do think that this is a game changer. It's Casio's first automatic watch, and I think this is opening the floodgates to what Casio can actually do. Even though they're using an off-the-shelf movement, this gets an NH35. I understand that a lot of people don't like that, but this is Casio putting their toe in the water and testing it and seeing if it's warm enough for a Casio automatic. And I think that this was pretty well received. The quality here is a little bit better, in my opinion, from what you're getting from the competition, from Citizen and Seiko for the price. This gets a sapphire crystal. This gets a really nice bracelet for the money. It's actually, in my opinion, better than anything that Seiko and Citizen currently offer. Plus, they are giving you a milled clasp. So it's mostly milled. This is pressed, but it's a very thick metal. So if they are pressing it, it almost comes across as a milled clasp as well. It's signed with the Edifice logo, and there's polish on it. It's not a cheap clasp. And I always look at the clasp on watches because I think that's kind of an element that is very often overlooked or skimped out on, and they didn't skimp out here. And this is an iLink bracelet, but you're getting a beautiful feel to this iLink bracelet. It is really nicely made. Very, very nicely made, in my opinion. And they went with some textured dials. It's an integrated bracelet, sort of. You really can't use just any strap on here. I get it. They wanted to do something a little bit different for their first automatic release, and I think that they really hit the nail on the head. Except for the movement, everything that Casio does can be very, very high-end. Or it could be mid-range, or it could be very affordable. I think that they wanted to go a little bit more affordable for their first release, and then eventually, I think in the future, we're going to see something a little bit more high-end. Like they do with their G-Shocks. They have MRG. They also have Oceanus when you're talking about the Casio brand itself. But right now, for their first release, they wanted to keep this in that $500 range, with a textured dial and an automatic movement. Overall, the fit, finish, and quality of this watch definitely bats way higher than its price range, in my opinion. You're getting 100 meters of water resistance. You're getting automatic on the dial. It doesn't say anything else except, of course, Edifice at the top of the dial, but that is it. And you have a very interesting setup. You have a chapter ring, which is really sloped, and you have a minute track on there. And then there's a minute track that has the indices. It's really not a minute track. It's just an element of the dial that holds the indices. And those indices sort of float above the dial, that textured portion. And of course, you're getting a date at the 6 o'clock position, which again, I like that because symmetry, and it is just taking the place of the 6 o'clock index. Great. I think overall design here is excellent. This is a 39 millimeter watch. I measured it a few times. It's like 38.8 millimeters depending on where you grab the case, but it's around 39 millimeters. You have around a 12.5 millimeter thickness, including the sapphire crystal. You don't get a screwed-in crown. You do get a screwed-in case back, and you get 100 meters of water resistance. Lug to lug is around 44 millimeters at the case, but it wears a lot larger than that because you do have male end links, which comes in at around 49 millimeters. Speaking of the case back, it does come with a Seiko NH35. Again, this was a complaint for a lot of people. I think this is a good move by them. Eventually, they can come out with their own movement. If they wanted to, they can definitely come out with their own movement. But let's test the waters first. That makes a lot of sense to me. Test the waters, see if it works, see if people are receptive to this watch, and then come out with something on their own. And I don't know if that would be affordable or not affordable. Who knows? It is signed with the Edifice name on there. which I think looks fine. It is basically a Seiko movement. It's unfinished, so nothing too crazy to see here. I believe this is a mineral crystal on the case back. On my wrist today, I have the Antarctic Erotic, and this is erotic for a very specific reason. I will not show you the case back right now because there is something on the case back that's pretty interesting, and I will put a link to the video for this watch up above if you are interested in finding out what is on the case back of this watch. And there it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. You can see the lug to lug is long on this watch, and it doesn't really bother my wrist at all because I have a 7.5 inch wrist. This is a 39 millimeter watch with around 13 millimeter thickness, just under 13 millimeters thick, including the sapphire crystal. But the lug to lug is around 49 millimeters if you're including those male end links. So it does wear longer because of that, and it's an integrated bracelet, so you can't wear this on a strap. So that's how it's going to wear. At the case, it measures in at just under 44 millimeters, but you're never going to wear it that way because you can't wear it on a strap. They do make a strap for this. However, it's going to integrate into the bracelet or the case the exact same way. So I would imagine the lug to lug would probably wear exactly the same as this does on my 7.5 inch wrist. But I think it looks really good. It is sized up for my wrist. I will be wearing this more often. I've owned it for quite some time and I haven't been wearing it, but I really like the overall look of this watch. I think it's a very good looking watch, and it's a really nicely made watch for the money. I paid only $300 for this watch. That is on the secondary market. I think that these are around that price, $300 to maybe $400, depending on where you get it. I think the original MSRP is around $400. So that is a very good price for this watch. I think it's a very good looking watch that's really well made for that price. Very quickly, Lume shot. The Lume is disappointing on this watch, I will warn you. So the Lume here seems like an afterthought. They only put Lume on the hands. You have skeletonized hands and those tips are lumed. That's it. No indices are loomed, second hand not loomed, nothing else is loomed, and it's not liberally applied with Lume either, so it fades pretty quickly. I think this is something that Casio in general should take note of. This needs more Lume, especially if you want to compete with brands like Citizen and Seiko, who add lots of Lume to their watches, specifically Seiko with their Lumebrite, which is very, very, very good. And this is clearly not anywhere on par with what they are doing. So definitely add more Lume, Casio. This needs it, and it would be a welcome addition to this watch. Overall, I think it's a great watch. I love the look of it. I love the fit, finish, and quality of it. I love that they are making automatic watches finally. Just add more Lume and you're going to have a successful watch here. It's successful either way, but it would be better with more Lume, in my opinion. And then let's see what they do in the future. Like I said, that's why this watch is a game changer. I want to see what they're going to do in the future. And this is just the first step. I really like this watch. Tell me what you guys think down in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel, and I very much appreciate it. Anyway, guys, thank you for logging on. Thank you for watching this video. I'll catch you guys in the next video.